Hi everybody, it's Ben here from Clair.io, the online 3D modeling, animation, and rendering program. So in this demo video, I'm going to be testing out the scalability of Clair.io with V-Ray using its new proxy system. So first I'm going to start with some meshes. So I'm going to grab the standard Happy Buddha model here. I'm going to drag it into Clair.io. It's importing now, and then we're going to grab another model. Let's go with the dragon model. And so each of these is about 100,000 faces. They're different sizes, so we're going to have to scale this one down a little bit. So it's, I think something like uniform scale of maybe 10 times smaller is going to work for us. Yeah, that does work. Okay, so we'll just Control F, and we've got it all centered. So we're going to move these out here, and we're going to set up V-Ray. We're just going to use the preset here to keep things simple. So we're going to go preset. That sets up both our lights and our camera. It sets up the V-Ray render and the default render pass. And from that, we can see if that renders. So we'll use RT for this. So that renders pretty quick. Okay, well, having each of these meshes is about 100,000 or 200,000 polygons. That can get pretty slow if we made 10 or 20 of those in the web browser because it has to download that data. But we can use the new proxy system that we've just developed, and we can have that only load on the server and not in the browser. And I'll show you how to do that. You select an object, you come up to here, you go convert to bin mesh with the bounding box. And you can do that with the other model here too. So you can actually notice that nothing has changed in the renderer, but in our viewport, it now reports that there's almost no polygons or vertices. That's because we don't actually load these meshes in the viewport anymore. Instead, we have these stand-ins. But what we can do with these stand-ins is we can clone them. And then we can move them. And you can see that actually in V-Ray, they're still the full authentic object. And we can do this again. And everything in the browser works very, very quickly because we're working with this proxy geometry. So we'll clone this again. We can move this out here. And now we have 8 objects. We can do this again. Let's get rid of the preset there. Clone them all again. We'll move them in this direction this time. So you can see each time I do this, it's actually not slowing down really at all. So that's the great thing about this new feature. It really does allow for near infinite scaling to whatever V-Ray can handle, even if the web browser couldn't handle that dense geometry. And here we can maybe go over here and move it forward. And now we have a veritable army of these meshes here that would never load properly into the web browser. And of course, you could make much more complex meshes. They could all be different meshes. Right now, we're not taking advantage of the fact that they're all the same meshes. We're loading them as different individual meshes in V-Ray. How about we apply some materials to these? And we can actually make quite complex materials, and they should function quite quickly. So we'll take V-Ray. We'll actually put a V-Ray standard on that. And I'll apply it to every one of those objects. We'll put a base plane here underneath everything so that we can have some good shadows. I think something like this will work. There we go. And then it should pop out in the other direction if we're lucky. There we go. And let's modify that material to make it a bit more complex. Let's make it slightly reflective. And we can actually make that transparent as well. We come down to refract. We can say that it's going to refract as well. And now that leads to a lot of different interplay between those objects, but it all renders nearly instantaneously. And Clair.io stays with very low memory requirements, and it's high interactivity. So that's our new proxy system that works very well with V-Ray. Thanks for your time.